back to Beyond the Sprue. My name is Jim. This is the channel where you get your scale modeling updates on a very regular basis. It is an extremely busy time at the moment, just being the turn of the year. All the manufacturers are hotting up their announcements, and they're coming out near enough hourly at the moment, and it's a job to keep up with it, I can tell you that. Anyway, I've put together a video. It may be a bit longer than normal, and it may be fast because there is a lot to cover throughout. Anyway, let's have a look at the question. So the question for this week is, what does PBY in Catalina PBY stand for? Is it A, Patrol Bomber by Consolidated? Is it B, Patrol Boat for yacht operations? C, Pursuit Bomber for yachts? Or D, Patrol Bomber Navy designation? Answer, as always, at the end. And let's get down to this busy week. So in 135 scale, ICM have announced that they are releasing their Kamaz 4310 Ukrainian military box truck. This is the closed body type, but you can build it with the engine on display, and the camo comes as decals, so don't worry about that. And no surprise, Miniart have released an interior kit of their Shira Panzer Sparwagen early mod, that's in 135 scale. As always, these kits come with a huge amount of detail, lots and lots of parts, but they do go together to make some pretty spectacular kits. And of course, coming with PE parts, this just enhances the detail, and you can recreate lovely full engines. The kit is coming in several camo schemes, 6 to be exact, and they're on the screen at the moment. And that should be with us very shortly. Amusing Hobby are making a 135 scale PT91 Polish main battle tank. That should be out soon as well. And T Model have announced a new Avenger M1097 in 1 72nd scale. This is coming with 3D printed wheels, 3D printed exhaust, 2 US tactical packs, and 2 figures of US soldiers as well. For 172, it's coming with heaps of detail, and as well as all the detail, there's photo etch parts as well to enhance it even further. They've given us some rendering images so we can see how much has gone into it, and all the PLGI antennas and EPLRS antennas and all the detail that you would want on a model is there. Looking very good. And Gecko Models are making a US military-based tuck shop. That's going to be in 135. A mini shop was on regular occurrence on Vietnam bases, and this is part of their Vietnam War series. It comes with photo etch and transfers. You also get the figure and a dog figure to go with it. So I've got some draft images, I believe, of forthcoming kits of the 2025 catalogues of Trumpeter, Hobbyboss and I Love Kit. If you want to have a look at these pictures, I can't stop and go through every single one. You're going to need to pause the video because there are so many. I've got the new toolings as to the ones I believe are new toolings. And yeah, so there are some good models coming up, and these ones are in 1/72nd scale. This one isn't, it's 135, M1220 Cayman, 6x6 MRAP, and I put that in because I thought it looked pretty good actually. And this one as well, 135 scale, M1248 Cayman, 6x6 MTV. You've got to be careful with, especially with Trumpeter, because they announce new kits, but then they never produce them, so don't believe it until it happens, sort of thing. This one as well, this is another new tooling. I think it's a variation on the last one actually, but an M1280 with a tactical trailer. I think 135 scale as well. And then we've got some 116 scales here, and some pretty impressive models. If you're into 116, you need to stop and pause the video and have a look at those right now, because as I say, there are so many coming up. It's impossible to keep track and go through them all. It'll be an hour long. So this is a 135 scale page of some new toolings, although some were announced years ago, but they never appeared. And that's what I mean with these companies. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt. And these are 170 to 1/72 scale toolings that are proposed as well. So quite a big list there. So moving on, Zemi model are producing a US weapon loading cart, but please note the missiles and bombs are not included. It's coming in 1/48 scale. And Gecko models are producing a British FV18001 Mark 1. We all know its proper name, but that's what they've been told to call it. It's a 1/35 scale. It doesn't come with the figures, but it does come with 2 tire tread patterns, and you can have the rear canvas open or closed. That's an option. PE parts, and does look to be a pretty nice kit. And Boulton models are bringing out a new version of the 2022 tooling of this Apocalypse, and yeah, I put it in really because I thought it was fun and of interest, and whoever built the actual kit has done a pretty good job on it. I'll be pretty happy with a finish like that. And so something a little bit different, and especially with the double barrels there. Yeah, cracking. And also from Boulton models, they've announced a new 1/35 scale Sherman M4A176W, and a nice little kit. And they've given us some renderings for us to look at and some box art. And obviously coming with photo etch as well, by the look of it. So yeah, nice detail. It's good. And IBG have announced some new models that are going to be released in February, I think they said. And this one that we've got here is a Type 89Q late version and Type 95 Hago Japanese tanks, 2-in-1. That's in 1/72 scale. And this is a V3000S 3-ton German truck with late production model. That's in 1/72 scale. And this one I know would be popular, 1/72 scale Diamond T969 Wrecker with a soft cab. And Hobbyboss have announced the 1/72 scale M911 C head and heavy equipment semi-trailer. And they've announced that for 2025. And they've also announced these vehicles as well. And again, if you need to stop the video and have a look, please do. And you know, there's quite a lot with these catalogues. And here's some more. And some nice looking potential models there if they come about. And we just got to keep our fingers crossed, really, haven't we? So I mean, obviously these are very, very popular. I hope they do bring them out. I'm going to move on to figures now. Some good figures this week, and but first we're going to kick off with Master Block's zombie figures, Zombieland series, kit 2 and kit 3. Something a bit different. So, but I know there are people who are into their zombies, and yeah, why wouldn't you? So if you like your zombies, keep an eye out for those Master Boxes. Or up my street though would be this Allied Drivers 135 sets from Miniart. That's coming soon. And if you like your tanks, tank crew and tank riders, then keep your eyes open for the World War II set from Boulton Models. It looks to be really good quality and paints up to make a nice set indeed. And Mitches Military Models have announced this absolutely stunning new set of these 3 gunners and the addition of some German equipment and shell casings adds to it. A quick update: if you're waiting for the Liberator waist gunners, there is a delay on this, and it will be coming later in 2025 by all accounts. In the meantime, this would keep you very busy whilst waiting for that kit. Absolutely awesome. And Power Cell Miniatures have announced some upcoming models, including this set of special operation guys carrying wounded. And I'm sure there's a few of you that used to be a punk rocker back in the day, and if you want to make a figure of it, well, you can now. And it's in 135 scale, and it's from Mantis Miniatures, coming soon. And Trumpeter have announced a new tool-in for 2025 of a O-Class battle cruiser Barbarossa, and this is going to be in 1 and 700 scale. And they've also announced a new tool-in for the USS Midway CV41, and that's going to be 1 700 scale as well. And ICM have announced a series of 4 battleships in 1 700 scale, and they've called this set the Kaiser Steel Fist, and comes with 4 models of the German dreadnoughts from World War One, and they can all be built in either waterline or full hull configuration. Comes with display stands for all 4 of them, and I think is a really nice set. Should keep you busy for a while, that I would imagine. And DV Model announced a USSC 21 Arsenal ship. It's going to be 1 700 scale. It's coming from EV Model. Although the kit was originally released in 2023, they're updating some parts. And moving on to some new tooling announcements from Hobbyboss. They're making 1 350 scale Plan Type 093 Shang Class SSN. That's for 2025. And Trumpeter have announced some new items for 2025. All very good shipbuilders. And these are in 1 and 200 scale. You're going to need to pause the video to have a look for yourself. They've announced these in 1 and 700 scale. What stands out for me is the Chinese icebreakers there. And I Love Kit have announced a 1 in 350 scale of the USS Sullivans. And that's all for 2025. And CMR, which stands for Checkmaster Resin, are making a 1 in 144 scale Martin JR M3 Hawaii Mars, a flying tanker. Coming in several different schemes. It is a resin kit, but it does come with the decals, and I would imagine makes a pretty sizable model once finished. And Mark 1 models are making a 1 in 144 scale, plus the Gladiator Mark 1 stroke Mark 2, and it's not going to be the biggest plane in your kit. I would imagine that would be fairly small, but they look good at that size as well, especially in a small diorama. Comes with 4 scheme options, and should be with you sometime this year. I had to include this as slightly unusual from LAC, a Midnight Flying Flea, and this is the 148 resin kit. It does say it's for experienced modelers. Certainly quirky and unusual if that's your bag. And now we're heading off for a peruse of the new items from Trumpeter that's been announced for 2025. Got the 172 scale in the top row and 1 and 144 scale in the bottom row. Please stop and pause and have a look. There are a lot of them. Here we've got the 1 in 24 scales, and then we've got the 1 in 48 scales. Some have been promised many years ago and they haven't appeared, so believe it when you see it. And here we have the 1 in 32nd scale. The top one's obviously a Fokker Wolf, and so it's the second one actually. And then we've got 1 in 35 scale, which is really good news because there are a lot of people wanting 1 in 35 scale aircraft, although these are obviously helicopters, still aircraft of course. And Hobbyboss announced their selections. These are the 1 in 72nd scales, and as I say, you're going to have to stop and pause because it's can't really do a catalogue on this channel, so I'm just pinging off the pictures. 1 in 48 Scow. Of note, of course, is they're both F-35s, a B and a C, competing with Tamiya, I dare say. Well done, Hobbyboss. Brave move. And 1 in 48 Scow, and we've got the 35A Lightning Donor as well. So they've got a complete set as well as Tamiya. And Luke Graff has given us some renderings of their 1 in 32nd heavy bomber, the Caprino CA3. Huge aircraft. This will be quite a big undertaking, and there's a lot of rigging. It's going to make a sizable plane, but if you do it, I'd love to see it. You could put it on my Facebook group, the Scale Modelers. There's a QR code at the end. And they've also produced a bomber crew to go with the aircraft. Lovely detail on there. And ICM have announced an imminent release of the UH-60A Black Hawk helicopter. This is going to be the US military transport one. Comes with 3 colour schemes and has detailed interior and detailed pilot cockpit. And Boulton models are producing a Youngers JU87D5 Stuka, and that's going to be 135 scale. A lot of people will be pleased at that one too. And here they've given us some lovely renderings of the aircraft. And they've also announced a 135 scale BF109 G10 with a pilot about to bail out on the box art there. So I guess that's not good news for him. And as you can see, this comes with photo etch, and you can have the engine on display as well. Again, should look forward to that 135 scale, very useful for diorama makers. And Airscale are looking at producing a 1/32 scale Boulton pool Defiant Mark 1. Yes, that's 1 in 32 scale. And they've given us some prototype images. And they say there's many practical problems to overcome, but they're trying it and hope to put it into production in due course. AMP have announced an English Electric Canberra B6, and they're going to produce that in 1 72nd scale. And even at 1 72nd scale, it looks like it comes with PE parts and a masking set, which is good news. And Wolfpack have made a few announcements this week. First of which is this JSDF Basic Trainer, the T34A Mentor. That's going to be a 1 in 48 scale. It comes with 4 scheme options. And they've included a model first to look at that's been assembled, and it does make a nice looking kit. I'm actually quite jealous of the clarity of those clear parts there as well. And A&A models are making a Northrop XP 61E. That's going to be in 1 and 72nd scale. Comes with 154 parts, decal sheet, masks, and photo etch. It's coming in 2 versions. You've got the test version here as well, and that's the Northrop F15. That's the test version, and basically same spec as the other one. And Wolfpack have made this lovely PBY for Catalina, World War II US Navy flying boat in 1 and 72nd scale. Looks awesome, one of my favourite planes, and I love the camo on that. And that was used during the Philippines in 1940, and the second camo there was the Dutch East Indies in January 1942. They've included some made-up versions of the plane, and it's such an iconic look. I think it's beautiful. So yeah, really looks good. And ICM are releasing their Bristol Beaufort Mk.IA, the RAF Coastal Command, and comes in 3 marking options, and comes with the aerial torpedo as well, and a torpedo trolley to boot. And Wolfpack have announced a 1/72 scale T-33A Shooting Star United States Air Force subsonic jet trainer. And this kit's coming with 3 marking schemes, 2 for Korea in the 60s and 1 for US Air Force based in the UK. And they've included some made up models and prototypes for us to look at, and it does look to make a very nice kit indeed. And RS Models have announced a P39Q Aircobra. That's going to be in 1/72 scale. And this comes with 4 marking options, all of which are quite different, so that's good. And they've also announced the 1/72 scale Zlins Z12. That's from RS Models as well. And that's coming with 5 scheme options. And they've also announced a 1/72 scale P39D Aircobra this time. And that too is coming with 5 scheme options. And staying with RS Models, they've announced 1/72 scale Heinkel 112B German fighter. That's certainly different. And that has 3 scheme options. And again from RS Models, they've announced a 1/48 scale BU131D Youngwoman, and this is coming with 5 scheme options as well. And keeping with the biplane theme, RS Models have announced a 1/48 scale Booker 131A Youngwoman, also with 5 scheme options. And IBG have announced their Go 242A1 German media cargo glider. They've announced a box art, which is pretty spectacular. That's going to be 1/72 scale. I think that's coming in February. And we're heading towards the last few announcements for this video. Big thank you to Ben, who supported me on Ko-Fi. And if you'd like to buy me a Ko-Fi, you can do that through the link in the description. It's much appreciated, and it was a generous and kind act. So thank you very much, Ben. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, then please consider it. It will keep you updated. It takes a lot of work to put these together. And let's just move on to this one. This is from Sova M. They have announced some albatrosses recently, and here's another one. It's HU16B. And as well as that, they're also producing this version, which is a 16B/D with some interesting camo schemes. I do like the albatross, it looks really nice. So moving on to the question, what does PBY in Catalina PBY stand for? If you said B, C or D, you'd have been completely wrong, because it's A, Patrol Bomber by Consolidated. Well done if you got that. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.